Hey guys, check out the story of this anime here. Yuya is a chubby guy who has always suffered from bullying, not only at school but also at home, from his parents and siblings. The only one who really liked Yuya in his family was his grandfather, who left his house to him in his will. Inside this house, Yuya finds a door that leads him to another world, granting him fantastic powers and drastically changing his appearance. Interesting, right? But before we start with the story, please give that like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. Let's go to the recap. The anime begins with Yuya telling his melancholic story. Until then, his only luck in life was being born. At a certain moment, while walking on the street, Yuya witnesses some men bothering a girl. After hesitating a lot, he gathers courage and tries to defend the girl. He tells them that she doesn't want to do what they're asking and says it's not right. The thugs get completely upset with his interference and start beating him up. Luckily, Yuya survives but is badly hurt. The girl tries to offer help, but he refuses and leaves. At this moment, we are shown a flashback of Yuya talking to his grandfather, who tells him always to help those in need and that he will need a lot of courage for that. Yuya thinks and understands that his repulsive appearance bothers people, and he has always suffered from bullying, not only at school but also at his own home. His own parents and siblings treated him badly. Everything got worse when his grandfather passed away. He was the only person who was caring and loved him. Since his grandfather left his house and belongings only to Yuya, his family got furious and accused him of stealing the inheritance, then kicked him out of the house. After that, Yuya had to work and study hard to support himself and maintain the house. One day, frustrated from enduring so much bullying and abuse, Yuya punches the bathroom wall at his home. At that moment, a secret door reveals itself, and for the first time, Yuya finds his grandfather's secret room. Inside, there are various artifacts from his grandfather. Yuya thinks that his grandfather must have collected them while traveling around the world. However, it's not every day you see a red floating cube. Then, Yuya finds a type of portal and becomes interested. After opening it, he finds himself in another house and decides to enter to see what it's about. Soon after entering, a display appears in front of him with some information. It informs him that upon entering, he acquired some abilities, such as evaluation and resistance. He also obtained the title of Master of the House and Visitor from Another World for the first time. Yuya doesn't understand anything but continues exploring. Several screens keep appearing, explaining everything he sees. Yuya starts to realize that what he's experiencing is very similar to RPG games and becomes excited about it. Then he opens a window and sees a very beautiful place. On the table, he finds a letter stating that the previous owner lost his life and left everything inside to the first person who found it. Yuya finds some weapons that seem ridiculously strong. He starts keeping the weapons, realizing they are very dangerous. While doing so, a monstrous minotaur appears and approaches Yuya. Fortunately, a barrier surrounds the property, and the monster can't pass through it. Yuya looks at the creature and finds out its name. It's a level 300 bloody ogre. After overcoming his fear, Yuya decides to use his spear to attack the monster. Surprisingly, the spear goes through the ogre, and he defeats it easily. After that, he checks his status and notices that they have greatly increased. He then goes to where the ogre was and finds only a few items left. Tired, while trying to return home, a message appears saying that there are items to convert into real-world money. He accepts and realizes that the items he gained turned into real-world money. Later that night, Yuya starts feeling a lot of pain, and his body begins to transform. The next day, he wakes up completely transformed. He must have used some kind of poison. He notices that something is strange, but he can't see himself since he broke his mirror the previous night. He returns to the other world and starts observing some plants. At this moment, another monster tries to attack him, but like the previous one, it can't cross the magical barrier. Yuya grabs his spear and throws it at the infernal slime, which is easily defeated. Like the other monster, it leaves behind some rare items. He sells the items and decides that now he needs to buy a new school uniform since he's now in shape and doesn't need that oversized one anymore. Yuya continues his peaceful life in the other world, and his stats keep increasing drastically as he works and fights against invading monsters. But despite becoming much stronger, Yuya is still hesitant since his classes start the next day. He still carries the traumas from constant bullying he endured his whole life. However, despite thinking that way, when he goes to school, Yuya catches the attention of all the girls, who say he's very handsome and has long legs. Yuya finally arrives in his classroom and takes a seat. The bullies who used to beat him up call him and ask who the hell he is since they've never seen him before. At this moment, he reveals that he is Tenji Yuya, and everyone is shocked. They say there's no way he could be that stupid fat guy. Even his brothers observe him and are also completely shocked. After that, Yuya runs to the bathroom and looks at himself in the mirror. He is taken aback to see that he has become a handsome guy and no longer has that repulsive appearance. At the end of that day, the students confront him and ask what he did to change so much. He tries to explain that many things happened during the vacation. While his brothers insult him, saying he's useless and couldn't have changed so drastically in such a short time, a limousine arrives, and a girl comes out calling for Yuya. She asks if it's really him, and he confirms. The girl is a bit confused because the last time she saw him, he was considerably rounder. Yuya doesn't understand how she knows his name, but she tells him that after he saved her, she investigated to find out who he is and managed to reach him to thank him. As a way of gratitude, she invites Yuya to study at SHI Institute, a school where only the elite of the elite study. Then, she apologizes for taking a long time to introduce herself and says her name is Hoju Kori. She is part of the student council at SHI Institute, and her father is the president of the council. Her father wanted Yuya to come to the institute after hearing that he saved his daughter. Yuya is taken aback and says he doesn't have the capacity to study at such a prestigious school. And at that moment, his brothers interrupt him and ask to enroll in his place. According to them, they are geniuses and superior to Yuya, both in sports and academics. Kori strongly denies their request and says she owes a great debt to Yuya, and she wouldn't want people who insult him in her school. She also mentions that she investigated all her actions and words while she was gathering information about Yuya. She reassures Yuya that he doesn't need to worry since SHI Institute values character more than academic strengths. Kori makes a proposal to him. She will show him around the school, and then he can decide if he wants to stay or not. Yuya accepts, and they head towards the school. Upon arriving, he is impressed by the beauty of the school and is soon taken to meet the school's president, Kori's father. The father bows and thanks Yuya for saving his daughter. Yuya humbly says he didn't do anything significant, but Kori appreciates his courage. Many people who passed by pretended not to see anything, but he stopped and tried to help her. Kori's father says that this is evidence of his character, which is what they value most at SHI Institute. Once again, he makes an offer, inviting Yuya to study at the institute and waiving any tuition fees. Yuya remains hesitant, as he believes only prodigies study at that school. The director then makes a new proposal. Yuya can stay and attend classes for a day, and if he likes it and feels suitable, he can stay longer. At that moment, a teacher enters the room and says she will be his teacher for the day. They go to the classroom, and Yuya is introduced to the class. Upon seeing him, everyone is stunned. Yuya, still haunted by the bullying he endured all his life, begins to think it's because of his ugly and repulsive appearance. However, that's not the case. Everyone is shocked because he now looks handsome and attractive. The girls in the class are all interested in him, and the teacher instructs Yuya to sit in a traditional anime spot, as you all must know, the last seat by the window, a classic in anime. Next to Yuya, there's a gothic girl observing him. The teacher instructs her to sit beside him and share her book since Yuya doesn't have his yet. She does so quickly. Feeling a bit shy, and with Yuya's insecurities, he starts to think the girl already hates him. After this, Yuya begins to experience how classes are at SHI Institute. He mentions that it's not much different from the classes he's used to, but the significant difference is that the students participate much more, which surprises him. At the end of the class, a classmate invites Yuya to go to the cafeteria for a meal. There, facing several options, Yuya is indecisive, and his classmate advises him to go with the daily special. They grab their food and sit at a table with another boy named Shingo. They start talking about anime, and Yuya is excited to meet people with similar interests. While eating, Yuya notices that everyone around is watching him. He asks the boys if it's because of his different uniform, but they respond that it's because of his face. After the meal, Yuya goes to the principal's office and expresses that he really liked the school and would accept the offer. After leaving the office, Kori is waiting for him outside. She invites him to hang out, and they go to the shopping center and eat a type of crepe. While eating, Yuya asks how she recognized him when they first met, even though he looked like Pig God from One Punch Man. She responds that despite having lost weight, his eyes remained the same kind and sincere eyes she had seen before. They both try each other's crepes, and then Yuya returns home and decides to return to the other world one more time. He continues fighting monsters and leveling up, but he notices that he's progressing more slowly. He decides to leave his house and venture deeper into the forest, seeking stronger monsters to gain more experience. In the forest, he finds several people lying on the ground and a horrifying monster with a mouth full of blood, cornering someone who seems to be human. He decides to attack the monster, which repels his first attack. While the monster is distracted, Yuya swiftly delivers a powerful blow, knocking it down. Afterward, he looks at the girl who was being attacked, and she seems a bit distressed. She talks to him and warns him that something is on his back. As Yuya turns around, the monstrous creature attacks him again. Yuya counterattacks and summons his /all sword. He literally cuts the monster in half. When he checks on the girl, she faints. At that moment, Yuya hears people shouting for her and decides to leave. It's then revealed that she is someone very important. We'll discover who she is together in the next video. Tell me what you thought of the beginning of the anime down below. For me, it was quite promising, with excellent animation and an exciting story. If you liked it, drop a like and subscribe to the channel to show your support. At the end, I've left a really cool video where a boy is raised by 3 undead without any humans around. But when he comes of age, he must leave and pursue his ambition of becoming a paladin. On his journey, he'll encounter many adventures and dangers. I'm sure you'll love it. Alright, see you later.